And now for something completely different.
Alors bonjour mesdames, messieurs. Pas fin, pas fine, bienvenue à un autre stream d'MCG. Comment ça va? On continue à notre playthrough de Gabriel Knight. Juste le temps de booter le jeu. Puis c'est parti. That's it. OK. On t'a rendu à questionner Mr. ici.
This is quite a place you have here.
Thank you, Mr. Knight. I have dedicated myself to the preservation of this unique culture. It is gratifying to see others reap the fruits I have sown.
Could I ask you some more questions?
Of course. I also find our dialogue stimulating.
Bon.
What can you tell me
Fait qu'on va reprendre du début.
Historical voodoo? Or the voodoo currently practiced in the city?
Historical.
Tell me about historical voodoo.
Very well. I will start at the beginning, Mr. Knight, and will go on from there at your prompting.
Sounds good.
As you may know, Voodoo is a grassroots religion formed by the mixing together of many different African tribal religions and Anglo religions, such as Catholicism or Protestantism. In other words, it is a religion born of the African slave trade, but African slaves were imported not only by the United States, but also into the West Indies where the French and Spanish ran plantation islands. Prior to 1803, the New Orleans area was owned by France. The French Creole in those days owned many African slaves. But the Creole did not permit their slaves to gather, giving no chance for voodoo to breed here natively. The Creole also knew enough about the corrupted pagan practices of the West Indies slaves to ban the importing of slaves from that region.
Tell me about current voodoo.
Many people think of voodoo in terms of magic spells or gree-gree. That kind of practice is actually called hoodoo, and is only a part of true voodoo. Voodoo, the religion, has a strong following in New Orleans. In fact, it is growing quite rapidly. There are several voodoo churches or temples in the city, and others all across the United States. African Americans see it as a tradition all their own. Whites, and there are many in their religion, are attracted to it because they think it is exotic. I, personally, am more interested in the history of voodoo. Some of the new movements are copying Haitian or even African voodoo. But it is the voodoo of New Orleans that I find so intriguing.
Donc, OK, le hoodoo.
What exactly is hoodoo?
Hoodoo refers to magic folk traditions of the South. Hoodoo is a bastard of voodoo. Many of the gree-gree are similar, but hoodoo does not have the religious aspects of voodoo.
Fair
What
enough.
do you know about the voodoo murders?
The killings in the newspaper? I know that they have nothing to do with true voodoo in New Orleans.
What do you think of New Orleans?
It is the only city in the United States as far as I am concerned.
Do you have any idea what Cabri sans corps means?
I fear my French is not all it should be, Mr. Knight.
OK,
Have you ever
Schwarzenegger.
heard of a Schottenjäger?
No, I have not.
Tell me about
Mime.
yourself.
Me?
Yes, if you don't mind.
What is it you wish to learn?
Why did you open a voodoo museum?
The subject has fascinated me all my life, and I wanted to help preserve the cultural heritage it represents.
What kind of background in voodoo do you have?
Let us say that I cut my teeth on it, Mr. Knight. It is in my blood.
Do you do anything besides run the museum?
No. The museum does not make me a rich man, but my material needs are simple. I prefer to focus on my one true interest in life.
Quelles sont vos croyances
What are your
religieuses?
own religious beliefs?
My beliefs are too personal and too complex to discuss with a layman, Mr. Knight.
Tabarouette, qui se prend pas pour de la merde.
Just tell me anything.
I am originally from the West Indies myself, you know.
Really? What brought you to New Orleans?
I was drawn here for personal reasons.
Reste très vague.
Just tell me anything.
I am a vegetarian.
Really?
Ça, on l'avait pogné.
Isn't that unusual?
On va juste épuiser ce dialogue-là.
Really?
OK.
Then, let us discuss something else.
Fair enough. Je pense qu'on est passé au travers. Alors.
A very large, very formidable looking snake is secured in a plexiglass cage. A street drummer has said...
OK. Fait que je pense que il y en aura pas plus à faire en ce moment ici au muséum.
I'll be going.
Goodbye, Mr. Knight.
Alors. Crime scene, Giddy Estate. Pourrait être intéressant. Allez voir Miss Giddy. Regardons un peu.
The huge trees bear beards of Spanish moss. The garden district is famous for its elaborate old plantation homes and mansions. This particular mansion is impeccably groomed. The garden district...
Okay.
Perfectly groomed hedges run along the front of the park. Potted roses mark the entrance to the house. Broad steps lead from the walk to the door. The garden district is famous for tall, narrow shutters provide beauty and protection. The garden...
D'accord.
The huge...
Oui.
The windows are made of thick, heavy glass.
Glass.
The only thing Gabriel can see inside is even thicker drapery.
Okay.
The front door of the Getty mansion looks unusually solid and heavy.
Je pense qu'on essaie de signifier que elle aime bien être protégée.
Gabriel can't get
OK.
this door.
Walk.
This door. Gabriel can't.
Uh-huh.
It's...
May I help you?
I'd like to see Melia Giddy, please.
I'd like to see Malia Getty, please. I'm sorry, but unless you have an appointment or official business, I cannot announce you.
I do.
I do have official business. Really? Please tell me the nature of your business.
Hmm?
I've got important business. Yes.
For the evidence.
Mind if I ask you? Yes.
He does mine, ok. Qu'est-ce qu'on pourrait...
Those two objects. The letter is written in German.
Ok, ça sera pas ça.
Immediately.
Ok. De Voodoo?
Does this do anything for... No,
It doesn't? Ok. Du gel, non.
This is the
Does this do... No. Mind if I... Yeah. Just as I thought.
Ok. Puis si on essaye magazine.
Gabriel can't get inside unless he's invited. There's no reason to...
Ok. On va trouver le moyen de... Tiens, t'as qu'à être dans le French District or whatever. On va aller voir Grandma.
My precious.
Puis
Can't stay away from you, Grand.
Make yourself.
si ça donne pas grand chose, on va aller à la boutique.
Can we talk?
Of course.
Y a rien de nouveau.
Nice weather.
Oh, Gabriel, please. It's been just awful.
Okay. We'll be going then.
Well, Grand.
All right.
French Quarters. Non.
Please select.
Oui. La Saint-Louis. Drugstore. Pas la Saint-George.
Phew, it's humid out there. Made it back, though.
I wish you would.
Ouais. On va voir si on a des messages.
Got a minute, Grace? Do you have message?
Nope.
Ok.
Tell me about...
What else do you want?
Just
I just got my.
nothing, I guess.
See-
Could you do so?
Sure.
Can't think. Ok. Fait qu'on dirait qu'on a besoin d'un event spécifique. Mais je sais pas lequel. Alors peut-être que je vais aller regarder.
Gabriel
Aller voir un walkthrough. On va essayer de se déplacer un peu en attendant.
I'm going out.
Have fun.
Peut-être le belvédère. Pas grand chose qui se passe. Ok, on va regarder le walkthrough. Ok, on dirait qu'on aurait manqué quelque chose au musée. Un event important.
Hello, Dr. John.
Glad you could return.
La Switch.
Gabriel cannot.
What does this do?
Turn that thing off.
Wow.
Sorry.
We have air conditioning.
Yeah, I see.
D'accord. Si vous demandez 5 fois, il va parler de Mary
Can I
Laveau.
ask you... So, how did Voodoo...
After the Louisiana Purchase, American legislators relaxed
Ah, il y a une
regulations.
suite à ça, ok.
Slaves were permitted to gather. The Americans also removed the ban on West Indies slaves. Around the same time, a slave revolt occurred in Santo Domingo, what is now Haiti. Between the lifting of the ban and the Haitian revolt, West Indies slaves began pouring into New Orleans. Some of them were free people of color, freed or escaped slaves. Some came with their white owners who were fleeing from the revolt.
What happened when the West Indies slaves got here?
They brought voodoo with them. The native slaves were more than enthusiastic about embracing it. It gave them power, Mr. Knight, if only in the form of a communal bond. Among the first meeting places were the Bayou St. John and the shore of Lake Pontchartrain. The early voodoos were heavy snake worshippers, worshipping the one they called the Great Zombie.
Tell me more about historical voodoo.
By 1817, the voodoo activities were beginning to cause fear among the white slave owners. An ordinance was passed to forbid slave gatherings except in designated public areas at designated times. The time was Sunday afternoons and the place, Congo Square. The slaves and free people of color gathered to dance simulations of their voodoo dances right in sight of Creole society.
Okay.
Of course, they also continued to meet in private for the real thing.
Tell me more about historical voodoo.
There were a variety of kings and queens at first, voodoo priests and priestesses. But from about 1830, a single power emerged. This was a voodoo queen named Marie Laveau. Marie Laveau ruled voodoo in New Orleans for many years.
Bon. Ensuite. Une autre fois, ok.
Tell me more about historical voodoo.
I've given you as much detail as I can, Mr. Knight. Look around the museum if you desire more information.
Tell me more about...
I've given...
Ok. Current voodoo
Tell
twice.
me more about current voodoo.
There are many voodooians in New Orleans. They often do business selling gree-gree, telling fortunes, providing luck, and occasionally misfortune. Perhaps you would like to meet a voodooan. We refer those who seek a deeper experience with voodoo to a local practitioner, Magentia Moonbeam.
Sure, I'd love to meet her.
She lives on the corner of Orleans and Dauphine. I will call her and tell her you might stop by.
Great, thanks.
Ok. Paraît qu'on aurait terminé. On va être sûr. Apparemment, la prochaine étape aurait été d'aller au cimetière.
Thanks a lot, bye.
Come back.
Puis là, on a une Moonbeam Residence, ok. Le cimetière. On va être sûr d'avoir tout fait puis qu'il n'y a pas d'événement qui arrive après.
I'm sorry to...
Yeah. Go.
Puis,
Do you know anything about Marie
Ah.
Laveau?
Sure. She was the voodoo queen of New Orleans. A powerful voodooine and a powerful sorceress. Believers still come to her tomb, you know. They write secret marks on the walls, leaving offerings and things. Then there's the tourists. They come out of curiosity. As a matter of fact, that big Dr. John fella from the Voodoo Museum, he's here at least once today. But Marie Laveau's tomb ain't the only one the believers visit and make markings and leave offerings at.
other.
You said there were other marked tombs?
Yep. I seen bull hearts left on tombs and a nest of vulture feathers, plates of peas and corn green, animal parts, human parts even, it looked like. Male parts, if you get my meaning.
Oh, I do.
And this at one of the great family crypts, mind you. Odd how them types just pick a spot and stick to it.
Ok. Donc, on peut quitter. Ensuite, se rendre ici. Puis, au besoin, on vient de revoir encore.
Welcome, Seeker. You must be the one Dr. John called me about.
I guess so. My name is...
Wait, Gabriel Knight?
You're too quick for me.
Actually, Dr. John told me. You have come to the right place, Mr. Knight. Tell me how I can help.
Ok.
Magentia's bottles probably contain secret ritual concoctions. The mask is made of carved wood and looks African. The shelf holds a variety of unusual objects, the kind of thing Gabriel refers to as junk. The Moonbeam residence looks like a cross between a voodoo temple and a Victorian fortune teller's parlor.
Fair
by
enough.
way of Haight Street. A large crystal ball is prominently displayed. A large sluggish snake rests on the floor of the fancy bird cage. Apparently, Magenta is not a fastidious housekeeper. A shed skin shares the cage with its original owner. The Moonbeam residence.
Ok.
It's a large cluster of quartz crystals. The Moonbeam residence looks like a...
Ok.
The Moonbeam...
Ok.
It's an old-fashioned parlor lamp hung with crystals. The Moonbeam... Magenta Moonbeam is wrapped in gauze and silks. She looks vaguely mysterious and mysteriously vague.
Comme sa description.
Gabriel really doesn't want to get on Magentia's bad side. Or any side, for that matter.
No thanks. Dr. John tells me you're a voodoo practitioner of some kind.
Yes, I am a voodoo yen, a voodoo priestess.
Ok. Grab.
She's really not my type.
Ok.
Magentia's snakes looks a little sickly, but Gabriel would still rather not stick it. The cage is...
Could I ask you a few questions?
Of course, Seeker.
Bon. Voodoo.
What can you tell me about voodoo?
My practice is mainly selling charms and potions with magic power, such as gree-gree and voodoo oils. You know, everything from unrequited love to wandering spouses to winning a lawsuit. But my spell...
Oops.
What can you...
I make special protective gree-gree to be worn in secret. They keep evil spells from working against my clients.
What can you...
The recipes for voodoo charms have been handed down from master to apprentice for centuries.
What can you...
I have told you all it is proper for you.
Okay.
What do you know about the Voodoo murders?
Why, that has nothing to do with me and my clientele. But I can tell you that you should stay as far from it as possible. There is badness there. Very bad.
Very bad.
So you don't think the voodoo aspects of the case are fake?
Fake? Let me tell you about fake. If I get information through the grapevine and make use of it, is that fake? No. That is part of a voodoo yen's power. If people don't believe, there is not much I can do. But if they do believe, that is a part of my power too. But there are things, monsieur, things not even a little bit fake, I can tell you. Believe it or not, but stay away from it.
What can you tell me about New Orleans?
New Orleans is the center of voodoo practice in the United States.
What can you tell?
It is a fascinating city with many dark secrets.
What can you tell?
It is my favorite place in the world.
What can you tell?
It is my favorite.
OK.
Do
Cabri
you
sans corps.
have any idea what Cabri sans corps means?
No. No, I don't.
J'ai l'impression qu'elle ment, elle aussi.
Do you know anything about Marie Laveau?
Oh, yes. She was the first of the great voodoo queens.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know anything about Marie Laveau?
She ruled voodoo in New Orleans for 100 years, they say.
Do you know anything about Marie Laveau?
I'm sure a historian could help you with that, if you want to know more.
OK. Schattenjäger.
Have you ever heard the word Schottenjäger?
I don't know anything about that.
Tell me about yourself.
Yes? What would you like to hear?
How'd you get into this business?
I trained in the voodoo arts for many years with the great Queen Tabitha.
Really? Who's she?
You have never heard of her? For shame! I can see you know little of the world of magic.
I'm beginning to get that impression, yes. What kind of people come to see you?
Seekers after the truth, such as yourself.
Qu'est-ce que tu peux faire d'autre?
Do you do anything else?
I am a voodoo yen, and that is plenty. It takes much spiritual effort.
Sure.
How many voodoo yens are there?
No one knows exactly. Many practice in secret. There are probably hundreds. But of course the level and the power of the voodoo yens differ greatly, depending on their training and natural gifts.
Anything?
Tell me anything at all.
I haven't always lived in New Orleans. I came here from Kansas as a young woman.
Tell me anything at all.
I began studying voodoo more than 20 years ago. I am well versed in the magical art.
Tell me anything at all.
Many non-believers come to me. They are usually believers when they leave.
Tell me anything at all.
Dr. John sends me many seekers such as yourself.
Tell me anything at all.
I am happy here with my clientele and my snake.
Oui.
Tell me.
I haven't always lived in New Orleans.
OK.
I can't.
Very
On va pas parler du
Give me
serpent?
an example of a gris-gris.
all right. Here's an old one. Take a lodestone and some brimstone to a crossroads at midnight. Light the brimstone with a match, and a spirit will come and give you advice in gambling.
OK.
Give me an example of a gris-gris.
Here's an old hoodoo Dr. Gree-Gree. Place a dime under your client's tongue, and if the client is under a spell of any kind, the dime will turn black.
Give me an example of a gris-gris.
To send someone away, take a rotten egg and write that person's name on it 9 times. You can also write on it where you want to send that person to. Take it and throw it against his door at midnight.
Give me an example.
Here's a nasty one. To kill someone, get a sock or a shoe that belongs to that person. Put graveyard dirt in it and bury it under their front steps.
Does that work?
I don't know. I never tried it.
Give me an example.
To ensure the safety of your child, cut a lock of its hair while it is still a baby and keep it with you. The child must have all its hair before it can die.
These are interesting.
They're very old. The gree-gree that I prepare is much more powerful, I can assure you, but I don't give out those secrets.
Give me an example.
All right. Here's an old...
Ok. Commencer à louper.
Do you get many people in?
Some days the need for my power, but I have many regular clients who would be lost without my vision.
I can imagine. That's a great-looking mask on the wall.
It's from Africa, a gift to me from Queen Tabitha.
Do you know Dr. John well?
Oh, yes. We are old friends. Those with gifts are often drawn together.
Ok.
So, let's say I came to you wanting to attract a woman. What would you advise?
Oh, I wouldn't think you'd have any trouble attracting women, Mr. Knight.
Ah, je le savais.
No. I guess I don't.
She got the hots.
So, what advice do you...
I tell them to follow the light.
That's what I thought. That's a great-looking mask.
Ok.
Magentius. Allah. The only receptive ears.
Ok. I guess. On part.
Well, I guess I'll be gone now.
Mais on n'a pas eu de ding 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 ding.
As you wish.
J'ai l'impression qu'on serait assez perdu. Fait que est-ce qu'on a manqué quelque chose? Ah! Of course.
Gabriel.
Hello?
Alors on peut lui montrer les inscriptions. C'est ça quand tu commences à utiliser un guide. Tu n'utilises plus vraiment ta tête.
Does this mean anything to you?
These are magic symbols. Deep magic.
Really? Have you seen them before?
No?
Then how do you know they're magic symbols?
Seeker, my eyes are unveiled to see truly that which is in front of me.
Ok.
Thanks. Tons.
Not impressed. Ok.
Does this mean anything to you?
These are magic.
Really?
No?
Then how...
Seeker?
Uh-huh.
Huh. What?
Could I ask you a few questions?
Of course, see.
Huh.
Allah. Apparent.
Attends un peu là. Cahier de notes?
Does this mean any...
I can be of no...
Ok.
Gabriel can.
Wait, what?
The partial.
On dirait qu'il me manque quelque chose. Ben, c'est avec les roues. Merci. J'essaie de comprendre où est-ce que je suis rendu, là. Ok. Apparemment, il faut aller au drugstore.
Well,
C'est ça qui nous manque.
As you wish.
hello.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
Bonjour, Monsieur Walker.
Oh, bienvenue, Madame Casino. Comment ça va? How you be feeling today?
Well, I'll tell you, Mr. Walker, I'm certain someone's buried a slip-knot bag somewhere near my steps. I haven't slept a wink in weeks.
Oh, don't that beat all? Well, you're gonna need some easy night candles then.
Do you think that would help? I do hope you're right. I said 3 rosaries this morning for Our Lady's intervention.
Rosaries are good, sure enough. But you burn those candles too, and you gonna whip any old no-sleep gree-gree, I tell you for sure.
Very well, Mr. Walker. Put them on my account and send them round to my house. Oh, and there's another thing. I didn't catch her at it, but I know Mrs. Lefebvre put stomachache powder in my tea at the last meeting of the Creole Grand Dames. Oh, I've been in misery.
You put 9 pinheads up in a little box, add a pinch of graveyard dust, and put it under her front porch step. That'll turn the trick back on Mrs. Lefebvre, and she'll be the one with the bellyache. I have the pins and the dust right here if you want them.
If the Blessed Virgin will grant me her protection, I'll be safe from these practitioners of evil.
Oui, madame. Though it don't hurt to be proactive none either, now does it?
Naturellement, monsieur. Merci beaucoup.
Mais non, madame. It is nothing. Au revoir.
Au revoir, Monsieur Walker.
Fait que ça commence à sonner comme un attrape-nigo, hein, les gris. Hein. Bon, commençons par lui parler.
Can I ask you just a few more questions?
Whatever, man.
Do you think I'm stupid? This is a voodoo shop. Look at all this stuff.
These are novelties, curiosities. If people want to think they're magic, it's not my concern, you know.
Are you telling me that you own a voodoo shop, but you know nothing about voodoo practices?
Ah, shit.
Look,
I don't have your answers, B. Do you want to buy something, monsieur?
Look,
I don't have your answers.
what do you know?
Monsieur,
What can you tell me?
I've lived here all...
What did you mean?
I didn't say that.
You did.
You heard wrong.
Have you ever heard of Marie Laveau?
Hello, monsieur, comment va?
She's
Ça va bien,
somebody
merci?
from the old days.
Toi, ça va
One
bien?
of those folk tales. Oh, the tourists eat it up, none.
Have you ever heard of...
I don't know much, monsieur.
OK.
Have you ever...
Man, I don't...
Tell me about... How did...
Why should I...
That customer of yours, the little old lady?
Customer?
Au travail,
When I
mais
saw
oui.
in here.
Ouais.
Madame Cazonou, you called her.
I don't talk about my customers to men who come in off the street.
Honorable.
It's important that I talk to Madame Cazonou. You see, I'm doing some research and...
I can't tell you anything about her.
It's important...
I can't...
OK. Back to the guide, I guess. Hmm. C'est là que je comprends pas parce que...
Do you recognize this pattern?
Don't look familiar.
Uh-huh. I seem to be stuck. Parce que là, elle est supposée m'aider
Mr. Knight.
My
à reconnaître les symboles.
My genteel.
Could I ask you?
Dude.
Well, I guess I'll be gone then.
Peut-être qu'il manque de quoi dans le guide. Je vais aller voir le
Hello, Dr. John.
docteur.
Glad you could
Voir s'il peut m'aider avec ça.
Do these marks look familiar?
They look like the scribbling of a child to me.
Okay, thanks.
On sait pas qui va m'aider.
Do these marks...
They
God damn. Newspaper, interesting. But its department. Talk to the Mosley. Let you pass. Ok. Eh là là.
Goodbye, Doc.
Police station. Ah. Fait qu'il y a quelqu'un qui répare le gauge. On n'avait pas ça tantôt. Ben, la dernière fois, c'est-à-dire. Donc...
Gabriel can't do that from the front.
On met au plus chaud. Puis on entre voir Mosley.
Detective Mosley. Hard at work, I see.
It's you, God help me. Ooh, it's hot in here. Dang, the air conditioning must be on the blink. Are you hot? Man, I'm hot.
Bon. Puis, là, j'imagine qu'on...
Can I ask you about...
Coffee.
How about getting me some coffee?
No, please, please. All right.
Ça va nous permettre de voler son badge.
Some people are never satisfied.
Bon, fait que là, j'imagine qu'avec le badge, on aurait une raison.
I think I'll just borrow this badge.
Hey, what are you doing with my coat?
Nothing. I thought I saw something crawling on it.
On va avoir une excuse pour aller voir Madame Guilly.
Thanks. Tons.
The suit.
Ok, on devrait être correct pour un bout, j'espère. Puis si c'est pas une question trop personnelle, Space, qu'est-ce que tu fais dans ton day job? Okay.
Gabriel can't get inside unless
Ah non, mais j'ai un badge.
using that on the door won't help.
Dude. Tu me niaises-tu?
The knocker is the knocker. Gabriel can't. It's a bribe.
May I...
Semblage de borne recharge automobile. Ah!
I'd like to see... I'm sorry.
I do.
Really?
Puis, on va lui montrer le badge.
My name is Detective Mosley. I'm here on police business. Really? How interesting. Wait here. I'll inform Miss Giddy. Miss Giddy will see you. Right this way.
Good.
Miss Giddy will be down shortly. Thank you.
What can I do for you, Detective?
Does this mean anything to you?
It got you in to see me, Detective, so it obviously means something to me.
Yeah, I guess. Bon, have a look around.
Harvard classics. Homer.
Virgil.
Eh? Maybe Malia wouldn't be impressed by a signed copy of one of Gabriel's novels. Harvard.
Okay.
Modern art?
More or less. It's a Picasso.
Ouais. Picasso, il faisait absolument tout.
Beautiful women. They must be relatives.
They are.
Beautiful women.
They are.
Roses and gardenias give the air a sweet taint.
Romantic.
I like firelight, Detective.
Travail de fin de carrière. Aller vers la retraite. Je suis capable qu'est-ce que je faisais avant. Ok. Tout ça. L'assemblage.
Nice statue. I like it.
Thank you. It's The Rebellious Slave by Michelangelo.
Harvard classics. The chair side table probably costs more than Gabriel's shop. The Getty Library. Genuine
Lion skin.
Excuse
Mais,
me?
Oh, nothing.
go on. Ça a été quoi ton métier?
Romantic.
I like firelight, Detective.
Ouais, je veux pas te déranger non plus, là. Ok,
Mind
des
if I ask
questions.
you a few questions, Miss Giddy?
I assume that's what you're here for, Detective.
Voodoo.
What can you tell me about voodoo?
Voodoo? Why would you want to know about that, Detective? It's rather silly, isn't it?
There's nothing silly about the voodoo murders.
But that voodoo is faked. That's what I've read in the papers.
That's what the papers say, all right.
But you're not convinced?
No, frankly, I'm not. The police department isn't known for its imagination.
Oh. Well, I can see that your imagination is considerable.
What do you know about the voodoo murders?
The murders? Only what I read in the papers.
And what do you read in the papers?
I'm sure you know much more about it than I, Detective.
Are you sure you can't tell me anything about voodoo?
I really don't know much about it. Isn't there some place in town that you can find out about that sort of thing? A museum or something?
I believe there is a museum.
Then maybe you should check there.
Au risque.
Are you sure you can't tell me anything?
Quite sure.
What do you know about the voodoo?
The murders? Only what I read in the papers.
And what do you read in the papers?
I'm sure you know much more about it than I did.
Tell me about your life in New Orleans.
The Getty family came to New Orleans in 1800. We worked very hard to get where we are. On the other hand, we've done a lot for this community.
I can believe that. You're doing a lot for me right now.
Come on, Gabriel.
What do you know?
Nope.
And tell me more.
I'm afraid I don't get out into New Orleans society much. Because of the Getty money, we have slots in the best country clubs and on the best Mardi Gras courts. But I must admit, I hate it. I avoid actually making an appearance unless it becomes absolutely necessary.
I know about those courts. They're very exclusive.
Yes, especially when it comes to people of my race. That's why we don't turn down the appointments. It's a rare opportunity to rub their noses in it. But that's not where I spend my time. I have more important things to do with my life.
That's admirable. Many women would love the chance to get caught up in that kind of life.
I'm not any kind of woman you might be familiar with.
Yes, I can see that. Tell me more about New Orleans.
I don't know what else you want to hear, Detective. Anything you might care to know about my public life, you can easily look up in the papers.
Ok, je pense que c'est une bonne
Do you have any
conclusion.
idea what Cabri sans corps means?
No, I don't. What does it mean, Detective?
That's confidential information, ma'am. Do you have any idea?
No.
Ok.
Do you know
Marie
anything
Laveau.
about Marie Laveau?
I have heard of her, of course, but that's about it.
Do you know anything?
I have heard...
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever heard of a Schottenjäger?
No, I'm afraid I can't help you with that, Detective.
Tell me about
Vous-même?
yourself.
I suppose I don't really have a choice. What do you want to know, Detective?
What kind of things interest you?
I don't have a lot of free time, but I do appreciate the arts. Opera, symphony, ballet, fine art. If you look around, you'll see that we collect African art, for example.
Yes, it's very beautiful.
It is, Detective. It means a great deal to me.
Do you have a career?
A career? Being the head of the Getty family is a 24-hour-a-day job. We have many holdings and many responsibilities, financial and otherwise. The management of our business affairs and properties leaves me with time for little else.
Poor little rich girl?
Believe it or not, Detective, wealth does have its price.
Tell me about your family.
The Gettys? We're a very private family.
How many people are there in your family?
Well, my mother just passed away.
Oh.
I am sorry.
So am I. She was a magnificent woman. We were very close. I was an only child.
And your father?
I never knew him.
It's hard to believe that any man would leave a woman like you. Or like your mother must have been.
He did not leave, Detective. But that's really none of your concern.
I'm sorry. Go on.
There are, of course, other Gettys in the city. I have a large, extended family.
I see. Do you have a husband? A boyfriend?
I'm very independent, Detective. The women in my family have always preferred it that way.
So, you've never been married?
No, and I never will be.
What about children?
Yes, that is likely. Someday.
I'd like to hear just about anything.
I do a lot of charity work around the city, primarily in the prison and reform system. I'm not a professional sociologist, but it does interest me.
I'd like to hear just about anything.
I have a business degree from Vanderbilt. I wanted to study psychology, but my family's interests came first.
Oh? Why not something like law, then? Surely that would have been an asset to the family.
Law? Please, I do have some morals, Detective.
I'd like to hear just about anything.
For the record, I'm 28, Detective.
I'd like to hear just about anything.
I have a few friends. A woman in my position can't really afford them.
I'd like to hear just about anything.
I try to stay away from the media as much as possible. Last year there was that story about John Kennedy Jr. and I. The phone didn't stop ringing for weeks. I prefer to keep my private life private. I would appreciate it if you would keep my name away from any public association with the police, Detective.
Of course. I'd like to hear just about anything.
I do a lot of charity work.
OK.
I wouldn't...
As you wish to.
Le lac.
Can you tell me anything about what happened out at the lake?
I wish I could, but I've never seen or heard anything unusual at the lake, and I do spend quite a bit of time out there.
Can you tell...
I wish...
OK, ça sera tout. Puis flirt.
Excuse me, but your eyes are really distracting. I don't think I've ever seen a color quite like that. Brownish gold. It's so deep and rich. Man, if I could bottle that, I'd make a fortune.
Thank you, Detective. That's an interesting observation, though probably not relevant to your case.
A good detective never knows what might be relevant, Miss Getty.
Then you must be truly exceptional at your job.
Hey,
I think this has gone on long enough. You're not really a detective, are you?
Who, me? Well, I am on this case, Miss Getty.
I saw you at the lake yesterday. I thought you must be with the police since you were there, but you don't act like a police officer. Besides, I'm rather certain that the other man said his name was Mosley.
All right, you caught me. I'm not with the police. My name is Gabriel Knight. I'm a writer working with Detective Mosley on a book.
Well, Mr. Knight, now that we've established who you are, perhaps you can tell me the real reason you're here.
Well, I am researching the book, and I thought you might have seen or heard something at the lake.
I don't like liars, Mr. Knight.
Okay, you're right. I really just wanted to see you again. You can be mad at me if you want, but I swear I've never done anything like this before.
Mr. Knight, you've lied about your identity and wasted my time with meaningless questions. If it weren't vaguely flattering, I'd really be angry. You're lucky I don't call the real police. I think you should go, Mr. Knight.
Malia, wait. If you just give me a chance.
I've wasted enough time. I'll have Robert show you out.
Bon.
Robert? Show Mr. Knight out, please.
I most certainly will. Thank you very much. I had a lovely time.
Ah, shit.
Ah, shit. Here we go again. OK, ben ça nous donne quoi? Oui, on a rencontré Miss Getty.
This is the...
Fait combien de temps? On arrive à la première heure. On va retourner... Qu'est-ce que ça nous donne pour vrai? Je vais retourner voir au Moonbeam Residence. Voir si ça unlock des dialogues.
Hello?
Sinon, je pense qu'on va s'arrêter là.
Please.
Could I?
Of
Non.
Magentia's room is unlikely to tell the only risk. If Gabriel opened the case, a lie, apparent. Magentia doesn't seem to know anything. Magentia.
Ben voyons. Okay, back to the guide, I guess. C'est vraiment étrange.
Well,
À moins que j'aie manqué un détail au cimetière, il va falloir que...
as you wish.
C'est ça, que j'arrête le stream puis que j'aille checker plus en détail sans pression. Mais là, apparemment qu'il y a une brique qui traîne.
Gabriel doesn't want to disturb that.
Ok, j'ai la brique. Puis, qu'il y aurait d'autres marques quelque part.
The marble and granite. The right.
Ah. Ça se pourrait-tu que je les ai juste pas notés? Il me semble que je l'ai fait. Sacrément, pour vrai. Ben, j'assumais tellement que je l'avais fait. Bon, désolé pour ça. Maintenant, on devrait pouvoir aller à Moonbeam.
Gabriel Knight, come in.
Hello.
Fait que là, celle dans le livre, elle va savoir de quoi qu'on parle. Ça. Play.
Does this mean
I can be of no help.
Oh, come on. Ah, ok. Il a arraché la page.
do these symbols mean anything
Bon.
to you?
Ah, the Voodoo Code. It is very secret, yes. I studied it with my mentor, the great Queen Tabitha.
Really? Great. Can you tell me what it says?
Let's see. Well, some of it is nonsense, I'm afraid. Whoever wrote this wasn't very good.
That's all right. Just tell me what it says.
It starts with a D and a J, and then... Okay, this part makes sense. It says, conclave tonight, bring... then there's more nonsense. F-W-E-T-K-A-S-H. Well, that last bit might mean cash. Fresh cash? It doesn't make much sense.
That's okay, thanks.
Au moins un peu d'aide.
DJ Conclave. K-A-S-H.
DJ Dr. John.
The start.
I'm happy I could help.
Could I ask you if you...
Magentia's the only risk. A large apparent.
Voyons.
Gabriel the kid.
Could I ask you... Dr. John tells me...
Yes,
Do you get many people?
but
I can imagine. No thanks.
It's not that easy.
Dude.
The cage is already doing everything.
Ah. Here we go again. Parce que là, elle est censée...
Could I...
sir,
What can you...
I have told you all it is.
What can you tell...
It is my favorite.
Herself?
Tell
Anything?
me anything at all.
I haven't always lived in New Orleans.
Ah, those
I came from Kansas as a
Salut,
young
Jordan.
woman.
Elle est supposée me
Tell
parler
me.
du...
I began studying.
Tell me...
Many non-believers come to me. They
Elle est supposée me
Tell
parler
me.
du
I can't think
effing
of
serpent.
very
Have you? Do you? What? Give... Do you get many... So...
oh,
Could I...
sir.
Mais... Non. Ask her about snakes. Dude. Allez voir
Well, I
Dr.
guess I
John.
can
J'imagine que Dr. John va avoir de quoi à dire à propos des serpents.
As
Ça va unlocker le dialogue.
Hello, Dr. John.
Glad you could
Could I ask you...
Of course. I al-
Does she refer...
Many have read about our museum in the newspaper.
That's good.
Ok.
Just...
Colique.
This snake doesn't look.
That snake.
Is deadly, which is why the cage is out of public reach.
I see.
A very.
Ouais, on l'a déjà regardé.
Gabriel has.
Could I ask...
Toujours pas d'option de serpent. Ok. Bon, ben sorry, je vais prendre disons une pause, puis je vais essayer d'aller voir une vidéo ou faire le plus de recherche possible que je peux pendant que je prends une petite gorgée d'eau puis je fume une smoke. Puis on retourne à Gabriel Knight au retour de la pause. Fait que désolé, mais c'est that's the name of the game. Pour que ça soit fluide, faut que tu connaisses le jeu parfaitement. Puis ça fait trop longtemps que j'y ai joué. Mais merci guys d'être là. Space P Lord. pour mon view count. C'est très apprécié de lurker. On est vraiment pas loin. Puis là, je pensais arrêter justement parce que c'était pas bon pour mes stats, le nombre qu'on était. Mais là, vous deux qui sont là, on y arrive. C'est super. Fait que merci encore. Et je reviens dans 5, peut-être 6 minutes. Là. J'ai vu un peu en retard. Bon, non, ouais, c'est ça. Je m'attends pas à grand chose non plus avec les heures que je stream. Là. Je sais que le monde travaille. Puis moi, j'essaie comme. Il y a une période dans la journée où les enfants sont plus calmes, puis on est dedans. Fait que là, j'essaie de streamer. Mais là, ok, je reviens après le break. Puis bref, merci d'être là. Ok. Bon retour. Alors, sans clairement encore savoir assurément qu'est-ce qui se passe. Je sais qu'il y a des choses à faire à Jackson Square. Mais pourtant, j'ai été au Belvédère pour observer ce qui se passait. Puis, il n'y avait pas l'air d'avoir grand-chose, mais apparemment qu'il y a quelque chose à faire. Et voilà.
The lucky dog vendor has his nose buried in a paperback novel. Gabriel noticed that it is not. Big surprise. One of his.
Thank you.
Idriss Niyukuri, bienvenue chez les Poffins. Merci d'avoir suivi.
Do you mind if I ask you a few questions?
Yep, I mind, all right.
Why?
Because A, I don't know anything, and B, I'm busy.
Oh,
Interrogating the little boy wouldn't be very useful.
Ah non?
you dance pretty well for a kid.
Give me some money, Dan.
I don't have any.
Don't block the view, mister.
A small boy is tap dancing enthusiastically for a lucky dog vendor.
Ok, allons voir un autre. Une autre région, peut-être? Hey Neo! Merci d'être là. Comment ça va?
An artist is taking advantage of the fine weather.
Could I ask you some questions?
I'd rather not. I really get focused when I'm drawing.
Okay, fine.
The juggler looks like a beginner practicing he act. The juggler
Busy. Dude, qu'est-ce qui se passe? Est-ce qu'on a de l'argent? Ou...
Why would the vendor be interested in that? What would it... Interrogating the... There's no...
S'il vous plaît, est-ce qu'on pourrait progresser? Ok. Lire le journal à la station de police. Mosley, la température. Jackson Square. Go to the northeast corner. Leave and re-enter. Really? Bon.
Hey, come back here. Hey! Oh, unbelievable. Rotten luck.
Okay, event. Good.
There's her drawing caught up against the hedges.
Donc, si on va lui parler.
Could I ask you?
I'd rather...
Okay.
Bon, fait qu'essayons de récupérer son dessin.
Interrogating...
You dance pretty...
Give me some money.
I I don't have...
Ben là.
Could I get a lucky dog?
Not now.
An unambitious person? The vendor... That does...
Ok. Use the gift certificate. What? Apparemment qu'on est supposé avoir un certificat.
I knew you'd miss me.
Really?
Mais comment qu'on a ça?
Got a minute? Do you have...
Nope.
It's certainly like... Gabriel opens the cash register to examine the take. Or, in the case of Saint... It's a gift certificate.
Ah, voilà.
I trust you can live without this old gift certificate.
Knock yourself.
Ok.
I've got...
Back to Jackson. Sud-ouest. Certificat.
I have this gift certificate.
I'm busy.
It's good for $20 at St. George's Books, finest bookstore in New Orleans.
Really? I'll have to check it out sometime.
You could take this gift certificate with you, if you'll give me a lucky dog.
A lucky dog for a $20 gift certificate? Well, sure. Here you go.
Bon. Et peut-être que le petit danseur serait chaud pour un chien chaud.
Dog, by any chance?
Would I? Thanks, mister. You got any special requests? Let me know.
Interrogating...
You mentioned something about special requests.
Yeah. You got one?
Can you fit through the bars around the statue?
Can I? Just watch me.
Good. There's something in there I can't quite reach. Come on. Can you reach that piece of paper?
Sure thing.
Bon.
There you go. Yep. See ya.
Et ça, c'est...
Those two objects. It's a technical... Gabriel can...
Uh-huh.
Does not...
Mais là...
The single sheet of paper... It's a technical drawing of Saint Louis Cathedral.
Ok, on va essayer d'aller parler d'abord à celui qui l'a perdu. Peut-être qu'il va être plus enclin à nous parler si on lui redonne son dessin.
Could I ask you...
I'd rather...
Okay. This belongs to you, doesn't it?
My drawing. How'd you get it?
Oh, it was a bit of a squeeze, but I hate to see you lose your work. I lost my only copy of a manuscript once.
Well, you saved my butt. Let me know if I can ever do the same for you, huh?
Sure can.
The artist is an able draftsman, but interrogating him wouldn't lend much to...
Okay.
Do you mind if I watch you?
Be my guest.
Okay.
Why be rude? Why be rude? An artist is...
Bon, pour arrêter... Je vais retourner au guide parce que j'ai vraiment pas envie de faire traîner ça encore plus. Give the hot dog, talk to the boy. Utiliser les patterns, ah ouais.
Say, do you think there's anything you can do with these patterns?
What do you need?
Is there any way you can reconstruct the whole pattern from these partials?
Pattern is probably circular, and there's some repetition in the elements. What is this from, anyway?
You'd never believe me.
Okie dokie. Well, there's... I think there's an area missing. If you could get me any more of these...
I'll see what I can do.
It just so happened to have one.
I have another one of those patterns.
Really? Let's see. Yeah, this is great. I think there's enough overlap now. I'll give it my best shot. I'll show you what I come up with tomorrow.
Great. I appreciate it.
Okay. Giddy Estate. Ok. Fait on va juste faire sur. Le musée, on va être sûr qu'on a tout demandé.
Hello.
J'ai fait 6 fois.
Could I ask you some more questions?
Of course. I also find our dialogue stimulating.
Ah.
Are you?
Historical.
I've given you...
Ça, c'est bon. Puis, Marie Laveau.
Tell me more.
There were actually 2 Marie Laveaux, mother and daughter. Most people thought they were the same woman. Her continued youth added to the mystique. The original, the mother, was also known as Widow Paris. It was she that began the empire. When the Widow Paris began to practice, there were many Voodooans in the city. By 1830, she was Voodoo Queen of all New Orleans.
Okay.
Tell me more about Marie Laveau.
The Widow Paris was a hairdresser for rich Creole ladies. She also paid household servants to spy for her. Between the two, she knew everything about everyone who mattered in New Orleans. She was not above using her information to appear psychic, to intimidate, or even to blackmail.
Ooh. You sound as though you admire her.
For a black woman in the mid-1800s to gain power is an incredible thing, Mr. Knight. However she achieved it.
Marie?
Tell me more about Marie Laveau.
She kept a pet snake, danced with it too. She held traditional voodoo ceremonies out by the lake. She took herself seriously, very seriously. But she was not above selling tickets for her events to curiosity seekers. She was not above using voodoo any way she could to make money. That is for certain. But if she had been in another line of work, in another age, that would have been interpreted as entrepreneurial genius rather than a sign of fraudulence.
Hey, you don't need to convince me. I admire anyone that can actually make a living. Tell me more about Marie Laveau.
It was Marie Laveau who defined the voodoo that is truly and uniquely the voodoo of New Orleans. She invented hundreds, if not thousands of spells, potions, charms, and incantations. These form the basis of the modern practice, not to mention the folk tradition of hoodoo.
Tell me more about Marie Laveau.
Her daughter, Marie Glapion, took over when the widow Paris got old. Most people thought it was the same Marie Laveau. Both Maries encouraged that point of view. The widow Paris died in 1881. Marie Glapion had been reigning a long time by then. After the death of the widow Paris, other voodoo queens surfaced, and by 1890, the cult was fragmented again. Marie Glapion just sort of faded away.
Tell me more.
The Laveau tomb, where one or both of the Maries are believed to be buried, is in St. Louis Cemetery No. 1. It is a popular shrine for practitioners and tourists alike. I myself take tours through the cemetery on a regular basis.
Oh.
Really? Do you have any running this week?
No, but the cemetery is open to the general public as well.
Okay. Dr. John. Là, on y a été, mais on dirait que j'ai pas été thorough. Fait que le cimetière, on va aller vérifier qu'on a tout.
Excuse me, sir?
Yeah? What can I do for you?
Mind if I pick your brain a minute?
Go.
Marie
What
Laveau.
else can you tell me?
Her tomb's on all our tours. Even the Baptists come round here to gawk. Course, you may not know this, but some of the real serious voodoo types argue that she ain't in this one at all, but down in an unmarked tomb in number 3. It's all the same to me, I say. Save me a lot of cleanup work if she weren't here, if you ask me.
Axe.
What other
No, I ain't one for naming names. I don't like to encourage that kind of thing. It's distressing to the families, and rightly so. Don't know how that sort of thing gets started. Why folks come to start leaving stuff at that one spot. But it happens all the same.
Okay. Bon.
What other...
No.
Tell me...
It's a his...
Fait que là, encore une fois, on est prompt à aller à Moonbeam.
Mr. Nard.
My...
Please, be seated.
Est-ce que... Non, c'est ça, il a montré tout. Peut-être celle-là. Ben, elle a déjà répondu à ça. Hey, Joker Time! Merci d'être venu.
I gave you my translation. If it doesn't make sense, it's not my fault.
Could I ask you a few questions?
Ça va bien, merci, pis toi? Toujours pas de... Ah, sacrément. Je pense que je sais qu'est-ce qui se passe. C'est pas possible les conditions que ça prend pour faire ça. Si tu le fais dans la bonne séquence, c'est une affaire d'une demi-heure, là. Je suis rendu à 2 heures, là.
Can I ask?
Ça va, cool.
What do you know? What can you... I'm a busy man. What can you... If you're not from around here, monsieur. Have you ever... I don't know much.
Ah, ben. Ok. Fait que je crois qu'il faut aller... Comment avance le jeu? Ben, c'est ça, pas très vite. Comme j'y allais au pif. Puis là, ça me donnait l'impression qu'il y avait juste une affaire à faire. Puis là, depuis tantôt, je galère à faire toutes les conditions qui me permettent d'avancer. Il y a tout le temps plus. Research.
Sure.
I need you to look up a Madame Cazeneuve.
Madame Cazeneuve? Is she related to the murders the same way your friend?
Christ, Cazeneuve's at least 70.
As if that makes a difference to you.
It does.
Okay, I'll see what I can find. Anything else?
Okay.
I can't think of any.
Okay.
OK. C'est juste que...
It's time to close.
So it is. Have a nice night.
You too.
Attends, on avance?
See you tomorrow.
Bon. Je suis comme content d'avancer, mais pas content que le guide me dise qu'il y a encore des choses à faire, curieusement. Ouais, du progrès. Ah. Continue encore un peu. Un autre rêve. Je veux dire, si je suis le guide, c'est comme que je pense, ça va comme me prendre une demi-heure. Fait qu'autant passer à travers une autre journée. On va se rendre jusqu'à l'heure du souper. On va aller préparer le souper. Puis après ça, ça va être le stream de Lord. Ouh, là, je viens d'entendre un enfant. S'il commence à s'énerver aussi, il va falloir que j'arrête. Alors, vous êtes avertis. Day 3. Drawn to Baku's abode, sought there to conspire, but it was in the city of the dead that I found my heart's desires. Ah. Désolé, vous allez peut-être entendre un petit peu de bruit de fond passer à travers mon gate, là, mais je peux pas fermer la fenêtre sinon je vais mourir. Il y a quelqu'un qui passe sa tondeuse. Je m'en excuse. Donc les indices sont pas très très vagues, là. Je veux dire, in the city of the dead, on parle d'un cimetière.
I'm so glad you could join us today. I've got messages when you want them.
Okay.
I also checked out Cazeneuve. There are multiple listings in the white pages. I got the page, but you'll have to figure out the right one.
Okay.
Great, thanks.
Now, are you gonna tell me what happened yesterday with Malia Getty, or is it just too embarrassing? Don't tell me you actually got to see her.
Are the stars out tonight?
Cringe.
Gabriel, you don't seriously think she's interested? She can have any man in the city. You know, men with bank accounts.
You underestimate the Knight family's tragic poet samurai appeal. When Daddy married Mom, she was the hottest catch in town.
I always suspected there was something fishy in your family tree. But seriously, I think you should be careful.
Grace.
I'm serious. I don't know why, but I have a bad feeling in the pit of my stomach about this.
It's called jealousy, my dear. And you're right. You
Oh my.
jealous of Malia Getty, as should every woman on this planet.
Oh, never mind. I'll just fix these books. Your life is in your own slippery little hands.
The point is to get it into somebody else's hands. And soon.
Gabriel. Ok. Fait que demander à propos de ces messages.
Got a minute, Grace?
What's up?
Do you have messages for me?
Your pal Mosley called. He left a message that they're interrogating a suspect this morning, and you might want to be there.
Sounds fun.
Mm-hmm. I bet.
More message?
Do you have more messages for me?
That man from Germany called again, Wolfgang Ritter. Now he's claiming to be a relative of yours. I took down his number. If you change your mind and want to give him a call back, just ask me for it.
2 jours plus tard.
Do you have more messages for me?
I've given everything to you.
Not everything. Ok. Je suis en train de me transformer en Gabriel.
Can I get that phone number for Wolfgang Ritter?
Sure. I'll give it to you when we're done talking.
Could you do some research for me?
Sure. What?
I can't think of anything.
Okay. Here's that phone number.
Thanks.
Numéro de téléphone. Ensuite, lisons le journal.
Today's newspaper.
Pick up.
Times Picayune, dated June 20, 1993. Gabriel scans over an uninteresting front page. Under the cultural events section, there's a notice about a lecture on African religions. The lecture is at Tulane University. Gabriel's horoscope for the day. An evil eye is upon you. Change course before it's too late.
Lighten up.
Je veux dire, t'as des avertissements. Ok. Painting.
Trees.
What a wacky up.
Sûrement.
I'll be back later.
Good luck.
Non, je voulais juste trigger un event, je voulais pas m'en aller.
Hello.
Oh boy.
Ok. Qu'on va aller appeler Wolfgang. Attends. Il faut le numéro. Actually.
Those two objects.
I know.
The number.
Oh.
The number written on the note is
4909
09 324 3333.
490 923 4 490 9-2-3. 9-3-2, pardon. Shit, ça va me mess up ça. J'ai pas de quoi noter. Je sais que j'ai une petite mémoire. Ah oui, j'ai de quoi noter. Quatre, 9. 0-9. 3, 2. 4. 3, 3, 3. OK. Play. Donc, 4, 9. 0, 9. Ah.
Guten Tag, Sie haben Schloss Ritter erreicht?
I'm looking for Wolfgang Ritter.
Ja, einen Moment.
Yeah, is this Gabriel on the phone?
This is Gabriel Knight. Why are you calling me, Mr. Ritter?
I have been having premonitions of great danger for you, Gabriel. You must leave New Orleans this very day.
What the hell are you talking about?
It is hard to explain on the phone. I have had feelings about you. It took me a long time to have you tracked down. I had a sense that Heinz had a grandson, but until these dreams started, I did not know if I should contact you.
You say you're related to my grandfather?
Yes, Heinz was my brother. There is much about the family that you should know, Gabriel. Come to Schloss Ritter in Rittersberg, West Germany. It is our family home. I will tell you everything when you come. You must come immediately. You are in great danger there.
Look, I appreciate the family spirit and all, but frankly I don't know you from Adam, and I'm not going to fly off to Germany even if I could afford it.
Gabriel, please. If you won't listen, at least let me send you something. It is a journal from one of your ancestors. Promise me you will read it.
Well, I'm pretty busy.
Please, Gabriel, you are the last of our line. I am too old to carry on. You are our last hope. Please, for your family, read the journal.
All right, I'll look at it.
Good. Now be careful and come to me as soon as you can. Goodbye.
Bon. Alors, on a de la ben, pas de la descendance, mais des aïeux en Allemagne. Toujours en suivant le guide. OK. C'était sûrement pour le pick-up, en fait.
Somewhere. The single.
Hein? Donc.
Somewhere there's a New Orleans phone book missing one of its C pages.
Huh. Casanou. Casanou. Ah, on va essayer d'appeler là. 555-6170.
Cajun Critters Animal Clinic. This is Melissa.
Oui, les serpents.
Do you know anything about snakes?
Our doctors see just about any type of animals, but we don't get many snakes.
Okay, thanks.
That's it. Bye. OK. C'est drôle, apparemment, je viens de regarder le guide, puis apparemment, il faut appeler là.
Cajun Critters Animal Clinic. This is Melissa.
Ah.
Do you have a Madame Cazenou as a client?
Madame Kazanu? Sure, I know her. She's not here right now, though.
Really? She told me she'd be there. Would you happen to have her address by any chance?
Yes, but I'm not sure I should give it out. Who are you again?
Ma tante?
She's my aunt, and I've sort of lost touch.
I'm sorry, but I don't feel right about giving her address out.
As you should. Ah.
Cajun Critters Animal...
Animal sacrifice.
Know anything about animal sacrifice?
What are you, some kind of sicko?
Bye.
Cajun
Oui.
Critters Animal
Allô,
Clinic.
c'est totalement pas le gars d'avant. Ni l'autre d'avant, ça.
About Madame Cazenou?
Yes?
I really need to get her address.
I just don't know. Why did you need it again?
She's won a major prize.
I really don't think I can. Sorry.
Wait, what?
Cajun Critters Animal...
About...
Yeah. I just don't...
Hein? Encore un espèce d'affaire que je comprends pas, là. On est supposé demander... Dire qu'on est... On s'en fait pour le chien, mais comment que ça se fait qu'on saurait le nom du chien?
There's not an...
What?
Gabriel might...
Comment qu'on est supposé savoir le nom du chien? Fait que la dernière fois qu'on a vu la madame...
I'll be back later.
C'était au magasin.
Hi.
The mask.
On va profiter pour demander pour le masque parce qu'apparemment il fallait faire ça. What?
Gabriel can... Gabriel...
Hi there. This is a Dixieland drugstore and I own it.
On va voir que...
To get the mask appears to be made from a real... The
Je suis vraiment confus là.
Can I ask... It's important that I told...
I can't tell you.
Ok, fait que la prochaine étape serait d'aller au square. pense que je me suis trompé. Faudrait que j'aille en haut. Dude, let me go. Puis là, monsieur devrait avoir fini les peintures, les dessins.
The artist is an able draftsman.
How's it going? What? Oh, it's only you. Man, I have been jumpy all day. That pattern of yours really freaked me out for some reason. There's just something creepy.
You finished it?
Yeah, and you're welcome to it. Here.
Wow, this is great.
Uh-huh. Just don't, like, blow up the planet with it or something, okay?
I didn't mean to upset you.
Oh, forget it. I'm probably just being stupid. Do your thing with it, and good luck.
Alright. Allez au nord-ouest.
Madame Lorelei seems less approachable when she's behind.
Come on, boys. Hoopla.
Oh.
Not a bad idea. Ooh, baby, I love the way you move.
God dang.
Madame Lorelei winks knowingly at Gabriel and twitches her hips.
Yep, she wants me.
Elle nous a donné son châle. Oh, elle se déshabille. Calique. Et c'est terminé. Cas est interrompu.
Thanks, boys.
C'est comme ça qu'on vole un châle. Utiliser.
Gabriel examines the veil with a magnifying glass. That sequin looks a little strange. Why, it's a snake scale. This is the...
Sachant qu'il y a...
Gabriel carefully uses the tweezers to remove the snake scale from the veil.
OK. Puis là, ça dit de comparer les écailles, mais on n'en a pas deux.
Could I ask you a few questions, Madame Lorelei?
The only answers I give are given in my reading. I'm sure your palm would be quite interesting.
Did you lose a veil?
Huh, my veil. I'm always losing those things. You have no idea. Well, darling, you're such a sweetie to return a lady's delicates, and so handsome as well.
Well,
And since you have such a clear interest in fortune-telling, let me see your hands. They look so strong. Perhaps they will make both our fortunes clear, no?
I wish something would.
Strong. Yes, and yet so delicate and flexible.
You don't know that.
Forte et délicate.
Oh, good. I see a mysterious woman in your immediate future.
Madame Lorelei winks at Gabriel knowingly.
She is a dangerous one. Dark and beautiful. Ah, I see the road of your life, Falcon. And very soon...
Falcon? Forkin.
The blood drains from Madame Lorelei's face in an instant. Sweat beads on her upper lip.
Are you okay?
Oh God! Beware! Beware!
What is it about me lately?
There she goes. Blue baldagan. Damn. Bon. Retournons à Saint-George, puis on va s'arrêter ici.
Phew, it's humid out there. Made it back though.
The excitement of seeing you is killing me.
Alright. Sauvegarder carefully. Nouvelle. Jour 3. Vérifier. Elle est là. Ensuite, quit. Thank you. On va remettre la petite image. OK. Alors, merci tout le monde d'avoir été là. Mais de booster mes stats, vous êtes gentils. On continue. Sûrement que je vais pouvoir demain, là, à peu près vers les mêmes heures. On va essayer de continuer ça. Continuer à suivre le guide, puis je vais essayer de trouver, entre-temps, comment trouver le nom du chien. Alors, voyons voir si on pourrait pas aller se raider quelqu'un. Silence. Ouais, il n'y a personne que je serais à l'aise de le faire en ce moment, que je connais. À moins que vous ayez peut-être une idée. Bonne fin de journée, bon souper. Merci beaucoup. Bye Joker, merci d'être passé. Je vais vous tenir au courant de mes stats, là. Dans le Discord de Lord, puis on se voit ce soir. Despotic Girl est sympa. OK. Got it. Gestionnaire. Despotic Girl. Qui joue à Magic the Gathering. Et voilà. Passez une belle journée. On se voit tantôt sur le stream de Lord. Merci d'avoir été là encore. Bye bye. Et pour le reste sur Facebook et YouTube. Merci aussi de visionner sur YouTube. Abonnez-vous, laissez un like. Sur Facebook, envoyez des étoiles, visitez mon Patreon. Puis merci toujours d'être présent. Vous êtes les best. On se revoit la prochaine fois en espérant que ce soit demain. Salut les pas fins et restez sages.